What's up? A to Z Sports Live on this Thursday. Glad to have everybody along talking Titans again, talking about Lamar Jackson. As we teased yesterday, we would talk about Lamar Jackson on this Titans Thursday, and that's what we're doing. We talked about a lot of quarterback buzz that's been hanging around the Titans this week. Wednesday's show was about the draft, the mock drafts that were linking the Tennessee Titans to a couple quarterbacks in the first round, one trading up for Will Levis and the other taking Anthony Richardson out of Florida at number 11. An interesting part about Anthony Richardson in Florida that I'll talk about right after we open up the show for today. But today is all about Lamar Jackson and what it would cost the Titans to get quarterback Lamar Jackson. Because now, since we've last talked about this, Sam, there are two ways the Titans could acquire Lamar Jackson. One is the offer sheet, or two is the trade for Lamar Jackson. As we know, Lamar Jackson tweeted publicly on Monday that he did request a trade from the Baltimore Ravens and how that could change things here. We'll hit up ESPN NFL Live after we get started too about an opportunity and how that could work for the Tennessee Titans and in the Titans' favor for now multiple options to acquire Lamar Jackson as Titans quarterback. So we'll talk about that. We'll ask you guys, what's the biggest reason why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson? And what's the biggest reason why the Titans should not sign the former MVP Lamar Jackson? It is a Thursday, which means the Magic Bucket as well. So Sam, welcome in. We're going to have a big show here on this Thursday talking about a very popular topic this Titans and NFL offseason.
Yeah, happy Thursday and happy opening day, by the way, for anybody that celebrates. It's a good day today for us baseball lovers out here, but really excited to be talking Lamar Jackson. This is the story that is now taking over the NFL world. So Aaron Rodgers had us all on the edge of our chairs for, a month, 2 months, and now Lamar Jackson is really, taking the torch for the hottest story and the hottest drama going on in the NFL world and in the quarterback carousel. But before we get going today, make sure you share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button in the bottom right corner. If you're watching on YouTube, send the YouTube link in a group chat, send it to a friend. Just tweet it out. However it is you can get it out there in front of a Titans fan or a football fan in your life. Retweet us at A to Z Sports. Do the same things on Twitch by sharing the show. However it is that you are watching this morning, make sure you get somebody else involved. That's the best way to support and the best way to grow the A to Z Sports family. So sharing is caring on a good Thursday, Austin.
That's right. Let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Phelan, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter timeline to follow along there. Also hit us up on Instagram and TikTok for more Titans coverage. We got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us, and they always help out you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by seeing them in Lebanon or checking out what they have to offer and the deals they have going on right now at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. They are the region's destination for orthopedic and sports medicine care. And Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That means better coverage, rates, and service. Learn more about a health plan for you, fbhp.com/ATOZ. So Sam, Wednesday, we talked about the quarterback buzz surrounding the Tennessee Titans. Mike Vrabel on Monday at the owners' meetings talked about, his approach of, is Ryan Tannehill going to be on the roster? Is Ryan Tannehill going to be the starter come September? Where we talked about Vrabel learning from last year and not writing that in ink, but writing that more in pencil, understanding that how fast the league can change based off of A.J. Brown from last year. But we discussed Will Levis and Anthony Richardson yesterday as well. Last week, the Titans were at the Kentucky Pro Day, and today, part of the Titans are at the Florida Pro Day. That would be former Florida Gator running back and current Titans GM Ran Carthon is in Gainesville to see Anthony Richardson and other Florida Gators at their Pro Day today, while head coach Mike Vrabel is in Knoxville, as Tennessee's Pro Day is also today, and there could be some balls that fit what the Titans want to do as well, like Darnell Wright, who is flying up draft boards. Obviously, a couple wide receivers in Hyatt and Cedric Tillman, Hendon Hooker, and several other players the Vols have produced. Dividing and conquering right there for the Titans brass, as Rand Carthon in Florida and Mike Vrabel in Knoxville today for those respective pro days. But Sam, we talked about the quarterback buzz with the draft. It's the quarterback buzz now with Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson on Monday did say publicly that he requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens, which now means there are a couple ways that Lamar Jackson could play for a team not Baltimore this upcoming season. You could always do the offer sheet on the non-exclusive franchise tag, where the team gaining Lamar would give up 2 first-round draft picks, and now there's the option of a trade as well. So NFL Live on ESPN went through this a couple days ago. This was also Monday afternoon, where Dan Orlovsky was asked his opinion on who would be a good trade partner for Lamar Jackson, and he brought up the Tennessee Titans.
I like your premise, though. If you're Arizona, you're like, hey, what are the kids?
Let the man have some fun. What's your team?
I still think Tennessee. I still think Tennessee, because there's this group. I'll go back to it. Baltimore needs a replacement. And to Mina's point, Detroit, it's like, does Baltimore want Jared Goff? To my point, does Baltimore want Ryan Tannehill? You can make the case for Minnesota. Do they want a Kirk Cousins? Do they sit there and go, well, with the extra picks and or that player, we can become the team that we still believe we could be with Lamar Jackson? Or do they sit there and go, we want the draft picks? Because then if it's the draft picks, it's Houston. Houston's the best case scenario for Baltimore, because they pick second in this year's draft. Or do they love a Mac Jones? That's where all the reciprocating aspect for Baltimore.
Just really quick.
Orlovsky on Monday, Sam. Now, he was obviously viewing that from the Baltimore Ravens perspective on what would be best for Baltimore. And it is interesting of how the different dynamics could change with trade partners versus offer sheet. So what was your overall reaction to what Orlovsky said there of, the Titans make sense because, and I've been saying this for now a couple weeks, the Ravens need a replacement. And we talked about this some Monday with Ryan Tannehill, potential trade partners, that, the Ravens could be in need for Ryan Tannehill if Baltimore does, in fact, move on from Lamar.
Well, it makes the trade aspect of the Lamar rumor interesting, or a little bit more interesting, right? Because now there's something additional you can offer in a package that gives Baltimore the replacement that they need. I think my reaction to that is really how dwindling the actual potential suitors are. It's something that I wrote in my write-up about this on A2Zsports.com, is just the number of teams that are actually in play for Lamar Jackson at this point in time continues to get lower and lower and lower the closer you get to the draft, because teams that were in need of a quarterback have either gotten one in free agency, like Las Vegas, or like Seattle, who just paid Geno Smith, or are Houston or Carolina, who are positioned to get their next guy and don't really have a need to move on from draft picks to go and get Lamar Jackson because they're picking at the very top of the draft. So it leaves just a few teams that really have potentially a top pick or a quarterback they can offer in return and would have a want for Lamar. And the Titans are one of those teams. So yeah, unfortunately, the trade aspect of what you were talking about, Austin, it would just be the Titans giving up more than the initial 2 picks.
Would it?
But maybe adding Ryan Tannehill to the deal sweetens the pot, and the Ravens don't feel a need to match an offer sheet. And that's how you guarantee that you get him in two-tone blue.
Yeah, and you did do a good job with that write-up, and I'll paste the link here for Sam's article. Now, you guys need to go read this after the show here. But I do think it would be interesting, because how that would work is, Lamar would go search for a trade partner, knowing that he would then sign the tender, the franchise tag tender, to then have the trade be able to be worked through. Now, here's, I think, why the trade would make sense, because it would, help out both teams financially a little bit, because the Baltimore Ravens are set to pay Lamar Jackson on the non-exclusive franchise tag like $33 million for 1 year, right? Ryan Tannehill's cash, his base salary for this upcoming season, which is what the Ravens would acquire in a trade, is $27 million. So that gives the Ravens a cheaper 1 year quarterback. because I saw some comments. Why would the Ravens trade for a 1-year quarterback in Ryan Tannehill? Well, they franchise tagged Lamar Jackson for a 1-year quarterback. So it's a cheaper 1-year option for their quarterback position and not having to commit however much money for Lamar. And obviously, if the Titans are interested in Lamar Jackson, they would have to get rid of Tannehill to be able to afford whatever that contract looks like. And we'll talk about that here in a second. So what do you think about that? I mean, I think financially a trade could help out both. It would give the Ravens a quarterback for cheaper, and it would also maybe not have 2 first-round draft picks and a cut of Tannehill. Maybe you could work something out where it's kind of in that middle ground of what the offer sheet would be.
So you're saying it would be, you're saying 2 picks and Tannehill might lower the offer sheet a little bit.
I don't know. I don't think if Ryan Tannehill's involved in a trade, I don't think 2 first-round draft picks is what the Titans would have to give up for Lamar. I don't think it would be 2 first-round draft picks and Tannehill to Baltimore via trade. If you do?
I do believe it's 2 picks and Tannehill and maybe more in a trade.
2 firsts?
Yeah, 2 ones, because Baltimore can match an offer sheet and get 2 first-rounders no matter what. So all they have to do is tell the Titans, we are going to match your offer sheet to Lamar Jackson, and the Titans then have 2 options. You either call their bluff, sign him to the offer sheet anyway, and if they match it, you just don't get him, and that's that. Or you negotiate a trade that incentivizes Baltimore additionally to not match an offer sheet. So maybe if it's 2 first-round picks and Ryan Tannehill and a 4th rounder or an additional pick, then Baltimore says, well, we'd rather have these picks and this quarterback than Lamar Jackson for that cap number. So you have to find a way to incentivize them to not match the offer sheet. But I don't think there's any way you can get Lamar Jackson and not have to give up at least 2 first-round picks, because why wouldn't Baltimore negotiate a trade for a first-rounder, Tannehill, and whatever additional?
Because it could be more than just 2 picks. It could be like a package of Tannehill and 3 or 4 or 5 picks, right? That are spread out.
Maybe if that's really the value that the Ravens place on it, but you'd have to assume that they want 1st-round picks. And by the way, they know you need to cut Tannehill regardless. You mentioned it.
Yep.
So like you lose a lot of leverage in that negotiation when they know you can't keep Ryan Tannehill. So they could always just negotiate with him as a free agent after you cut him anyways.
Fair. Yeah. And I also do think, teams, and we've seen this a few times, teams like having 2 first-round draft picks until they have to pay 2 fifth-year options and then have to pay 2 extensions at the same time. And sometimes we've seen teams with 3 first-round draft picks and they're like, oh my gosh, that's expensive. And so, does Baltimore, a team that doesn't want to commit all this money to Lamar Jackson or doesn't know how to negotiate it, do they want 4 first-round draft picks, their own plus 2 others, in back-to-back drafts? How expensive is that going to be from that standpoint, right? Or, I don't know. It's just, there's a bunch of nuances and wrinkles.
Generally, I would say yes, but I mean, like,
yeah, for sure.
You want as high picks as possible. It makes a lot of sense for the Titans, though. I mean, if you can find a package that isn't 2 first-rounders, that would be huge. I just have a really hard time seeing Baltimore get negotiated down and diluted down from the 2 first-round picks, which are basically handed to them if they just let you agree to an offer sheet with Jackson.
All right. So let's let's do this. Let's talk about what a Lamar Jackson contract could cost, right? That's what I'm going to get to first. Let's talk about what would it cost the Titans to sign Lamar Jackson and pay Lamar Jackson to be the quarterback for the Titans for the foreseeable future. Sam, you've put together a contract projection that I'll have you go over here in a second from former agent in the NFL, Joel Corey. So we'll get to what that would cost the Titans in detail to really go through a lot of the wrinkles and nuances of this conversation. But first, I'm going to tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute. boneandjointtn.org is their website. It's very easy to schedule an appointment. So if you get hurt, if you get injured, if you get just banged up, or you have that nagging pain somewhere around your body, the Bone and Joint Institute has the specialists to do that, and it's super easy to book an appointment with them because you go to the website, boneandjointtn.org. You click the big make an appointment button. Then you type in your name. You type in what part of the body is giving you issues. It automatically sorts to the specialist for that injury situation. And then you find the calendar and what fits for your schedule. And boom, there you go. Easy enough. You're in and out. I did it last summer with a foot injury I had going on. Was able to take care of that with Dr. Jeff Watson and the entire team at the Bone and Joint Institute. So check them out, boneandjointtn.org.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Sign up using the bonus code ATOZ Sports, and you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. If your first bet doesn't hit when you sign up with BetMGM, you'll gain access to a wide variety of live parlay selection features, daily boosted odds specials, player props, and so much more. You can make every game and every play mean that much more. There's a reason that I love BetMGM and Austin loves BetMGM because they're the king of sportsbooks. They make it as easy as possible and they lower your risk. So sign up using that code. It's ATOZ Sports, and your first bet, you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it does not hit. BetMGM.com and the BetMGM app.
All right, so here on this Thursday, talking about what it would cost the Titans to get Lamar Jackson, whether it's via trade or whether it's the offer sheet, the Titans or whoever would want Lamar Jackson would have to come up with a contract that the quarterback would agree to, obviously, and that would make sense moving forward. So, Sam, you went and found Joel Corey's contract projection for Lamar Jackson and put that into terms. So go ahead and walk us through what that projection looks like on what any team would have to be potentially paying Lamar down the road.
Well, listen, this starts with the rumor that earlier last season, Lamar Jackson turned down a contract extension from Baltimore for 5 years, $250 million with $133 million in guarantees. And he was caught up on the guaranteed aspect of the contract because Deshaun Watson got all of his money guaranteed by the Cleveland Browns. Well, Lamar Jackson looks at that and says, well, if he got it guaranteed, I'm better than him. I should get mine guaranteed too. And that's what he's trying to negotiate. NFL owners, quite obviously, are not wanting to do that. They do not want to set a precedent for free agent quarterbacks that are franchise guys to get fully guaranteed deals. That it's just not a good deal for owners. That's not what they want to do. Whether you can argue that, fully guaranteed contracts are fair and how the NFL should operate anyway, because every other major sport does it. That's not what NFL owners want to do, and they're not going to give up that power. So now the question becomes, how much guaranteed money is Lamar Jackson able to get where he's happy with it and the owners are able to kind of compromise a little bit? So this is from Joel Corey. These are some of the figures that he put together as a suggested contract. So the 4-year, $210 million deal with an average yearly salary or average yearly cap number of $52.5 million. That would make Lamar Jackson the highest paid player in the history of the sport in AAV. So by settling for not taking the fully guaranteed money, he slowly makes himself the highest paid player in the sport. You get the first 2 to 3 years fully guaranteed with some injury protection written in. And the overall guarantees are $170 million of that $210 million, with an $85 million signing bonus prorated through the first 4 years. So it's a little over $20 million as a signing bonus against your cap every year. Austin, this is numbers that Joel Corey put together, kind of compromising with recent deals and not going all the way to Deshaun Watson, but a higher percentage of guaranteed money than Russell Wilson got from Denver. So if you're Lamar Jackson and you are coming off of your ask for a totally guaranteed contract, you feel pretty good about, one, becoming the highest paid player in the history of football, and then two, getting a large, I believe it's over 75% of the contract guaranteed at signing. It really protects you from injuries and some of the other things Lamar could be concerned about.
Right. And I see Renaud says, I like Lamar, but not that much. And I also see Bork saying, how could any team afford to play one player making $52 million a year? Now, that's the average, right? That's not how it would be set up year 1 through 4, because in the same projection, Sam, you kind of worked out the first year cap hit to be roughly what, $35 million, which
Yeah,
is
because the first year cash is a little bit lower. It would start with like a
the
around
first year,
35.
base salary is lower, but the first year cash is high because he gets all of that $85 million signing bonus plus the, you know, the salary.
Yeah, the first year cash is higher because of the signing bonus, but then the first year salary is a little bit lower. And then it increases later in the contract, and some of that money's not guaranteed because it falls into the fourth year, which in this hypothetical would be 2026. It'd be in the fourth year in the 2026 season. So you could kind of, I guess, hypothetically get out of some of that money. To answer the question, how do teams afford it? I mean, they just sacrifice elsewhere. You look at Green Bay, you look at kind of what Kansas City, I mean, I guess Mahomes' isn't quite that high, but he's locked up for 10 years. And I mean, Aaron Rodgers is getting paid over $50 million right now by the Green Bay Packers, and the New York Jets. If they trade for him like they say they're going to, they'll be on the hook for a lot of that. So
Matthew Stafford got paid $60 million in the first year when he joined the Rams.
Yeah, you sacrifice elsewhere, and sometimes you can do it for 1 year, 2 years. I mean, it has to be shorter term. And we'll get into some of those details about how they could make it work, but you just have to find a way to build around a contract that big and take smaller cap numbers around it.
And I think, you know, the whole thing is like, well, and I've kind of thought about this as I've been reading comments throughout the first 21, 22 minutes of today's show. I don't know what Titans fans want. Like, I don't know what they want. Like, what do you guys want from a quarterback? Like, because we talked about Anthony Richardson and Will Levis yesterday, and you guys basically threw up in your mouths and we're like, no, heck no, that's stupid. Why would you want to do that? That sounds terrible. I mean, I guess if we're being honest, like the most popular answer of like what Titans fans want is obviously not Ryan Tannehill. I don't think it's Lamar Jackson right now based off of this reaction. And
Can I tell you what it is?
Hendon Hooker? Like, is Hendon Hooker in like the second or third round like the most popular answer on what do you guys want? Like, what do Titans fans want?
I don't think anybody,
because Titans fans also don't want to trade up for Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Like, so what do you guys want? I don't get it.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be happy this year. I think the majority of fans would probably tell you they want Tannehill and Caleb Williams, but I mean, that is, I mean, a long shot, right? I mean, we've talked about the risks of planning on going for a quarterback next year and Caleb Williams or Drake May, being that if Ryan Tannehill is on your roster and Mike Vrabel's your head coach, you're probably not losing enough games to be anywhere close to the number 1 overall pick. And you don't know if a team like the Chicago Bears, who have a quarterback, are going to be picking first overall, that you can just go trade up and get it. Like, it might be a QB needy team that is picking first next year, and you're out of luck. So this is, I mean, and this will come into the conversation we have about why the Titans would go get Lamar Jackson or should go get Lamar Jackson. But the opportunity to go get a franchise quarterback is rare, like is very rare, where you're either picking at the very, very top of the draft and saying, we know we've got a guy, or one becomes available in the trade or free agency market. And yeah.
And so, all right. So we're going to get to this question. You know, I went on my, what do you guys want? I feel like Noah in the Notebook. I don't know what you guys want. Like, you know, tell me, like, let's figure it out. And because if you don't want to pay Ryan Tannehill $36 million in a year, but you look at Lamar Jackson and paying him $210 million over 4 years, you don't want that either. Then you don't want to trade up for a quarterback. You certainly don't want Will Levis. You certainly don't want Anthony Richardson. So what do you guys want? And Malik Willis isn't the answer either. You guys want Josh Dobbs back from Cleveland after he gets cut in training camp? I mean, like that's the problem here. So Sam, let's ask this question and get the chat more involved. What is the biggest reason why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson? What is the biggest reason why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson? And while we're at it, give the show a like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. We'd greatly appreciate that. That helps out the algorithm for us and gets more people so we can try to figure out what Titans fans want. So I know for a fact more people are watching this show right now than have liked the thumbs up button and hit the thumbs up button. So like the show right now as you're watching. We'd appreciate that. So Sam, I'll let you give your answer first as the answers from the fans and people watching roll in. What is the biggest reason why the Titans should sign quarterback Lamar Jackson?
Well, it's what we just talked about. The reason why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson is because Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber quarterback and a former MVP when he is healthy and on the field. His 2019 season, Austin, these numbers real quick. I believe he had 3,000 passing yards, 1,200 rushing yards, 43 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, something like an absolute game changer with both his arm and his legs. He's been doing it like without really many weapons around him in terms of wide receivers are concerned. He's an MVP quarterback, and they don't come around very often. There is no guarantees of a top pick next year. There is no guarantees of a free agent available in free agency or the trade market or whatever at quarterback next year. And so that's one reason. And then I would put as my reason B is you can build around that contract with where the Titans are financially set up next season. It would be somewhat of a challenge to get under the cap in 2023. You'd have to make some corresponding moves this offseason to get under the cap for next year. But going into 2024, you have, as we mentioned yesterday, a lot of money off the books and a lot of like money to work with. You also don't have many contracts on the books, but the Titans then are in need of, if you bring on Lamar's deal and you say, okay, he's $50 million next offseason, you know what you have to work with and you know where you can attribute money to build around him. So it's not like you're trying to squeeze him into long-term financial plans. You start building a financial plan around him that can work. But these guys just don't come around, and the opportunities to go get them don't come around. So why not when you have the chance?
Yeah. So reading your answers, the question we're asking and getting your answer, what is the biggest reason why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson? Jonathan says to have a Super Bowl window for 2 years. Mitchell says to save Derrick Henry's career. Demario says the potential of possible Super Bowl, but not a guarantee. Wilbur says puts the Titans in a Super Bowl contender. Ryan Clark says the Titans shouldn't trade for Lamar. That's fine. Let's see, more of you guys. Let's see, to finally have a chance, to finally have a face of the franchise at quarterback for the next decade. Billy just says to sell more jerseys is why they should do it. John says it makes them relevant again. It will sell tickets and draw in more nationally televised games.
Which is a good point, I think, too. I mean, when you talk about the finances of, a contract, well, what does Lamar Jackson bring in to the Titans financially? And with, the eyeballs around the league and the jersey sales and the ticket sales and the fan base buy-in, like acquiring a face of the franchise quarterback to partner potentially with Derrick Henry makes Titans games must-watch television and must get to if you're living in the Nashville area. Like that becomes a major event.
Yeah, Tall Texan says Titans should sign Lamar to sell tickets. They won't get any further in the playoffs than they did with Tannehill, which is the AFC Championship game, so we understand that. So I do see we have some super chats coming in, so we'll get to those super chats in a second. Sam, my reason of why the Titans should sign Lamar Jackson is to have the updated identity and path towards the future, because Derrick Henry's 29, going to be 30 at some point this upcoming offseason. And then you have Ryan Tannehill on 1 year left in his contract, just like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has been the identity of this franchise for the last 4 years, and that is going to come to an end, fairly soon, right? And so having a new identity that is a modern NFL identity and understanding that that's going to be the game plan for the next 4 years, I think is valuable, because what else is going to be happening in the next 4 years with the Titans is building a stadium, allegedly, reportedly, hopefully. That's the plan, right? It's to build a new stadium, and having that identity of Lamar Jackson is something that will make that better around the entire franchise for the long haul. And I do think they have the flexibility to do it based off of what you said, of a lot of cap space next year. the cap continues to go up, up, up each year. The NFL and teams are now, I think this offseason is probably the last offseason of the COVID cap recovery, of dealing with the cap going down and how contracts were structured to work through it all. I think they're getting out of that and getting healthier from a cap space standpoint this offseason, and it's going to be better moving forward. A lot of TV deals or streaming deals are starting to kick into place. And so having Lamar Jackson gives you the 4-year path of success. And you have the ability to work that with a clean slate of Rand Carthon and a head coach that you trust in Mike Vrabel. So that is the biggest reason why the Titans should do this, is because getting Lamar Jackson or a face of the franchise quarterback for an average of $52 million in 2023 is going to be a deal, going to be a bargain in 2025 and 2026. And that's also something you have to think about too, because right now you look at Mahomes and his deal or some of the other deals, like they're not that big of a deal. And so that's where I think Titans fans need to think about is, what is the identity? What is the path? Because the Titans put out, and we've got them, right? We've got these right here. The Titans put out these great stadium renderings, and it's of Derrick Henry shoving Josh Norman to the planet Mars with a stiff arm on Tuesday Night Football in 2020. Sam, that's almost 3 years ago. That's 2.5 years ago of when that happened, on a play that didn't count. There was a 5-yard penalty, negated everything. The Derrick Henry's stiff arming Josh Norman on a Jumbotron for a stadium where Derrick Henry is going to be 35 years old when the stadium opens. So how is that stadium going to be sold? How are the Titans going to set up their franchise? Lamar Jackson is a way to actually do that.
Yeah, I mean, it is building around a player that is the most important position in the game, right? Like, building around the quarterback is the new age of football. So in case there's people out there that would say, well, Austin, he's not your prototypical like deep passing, like 4,000-yard passing quarterback, but he's a quarterback, and he's an athletic quarterback, which I explained yesterday how much I believe in that, I guess, wave that is taking over the NFL now, and how much I believe that will continue to be a factor. But it is building around your best player and the guy that touches the football on every play of the game is a good idea. And yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It is important to keep in mind the cap too, and the rising cap, and how $50 million now is not $50 million in 2025, because you might have an extra $10 to $15 million of salary cap by then, and then it won't really matter what the contract is. And quarterbacks will be getting more than that at that point too as well. So really good points, but those are certainly the positives, where if you're a Titans fan, and this is just my opinion, and I'm interested in actually seeing what the poll results are from what Titans fans actually want, I can understand some worry or some skepticism, but I have a really hard time complaining or like not wanting a former MVP at quarterback for a team that has been in QB purgatory for a decade. So like, that's my take on it.
All right, so super chats coming in from YouTube. We've starred them or favored them now, so we can get back to them. Andre saying, if nobody's giving 2 1s, why would the Titans do 2 1s, Tannehill and another? No sense for a quarterback with 5 years left. That value means he's worth the money they won't pay. So that's from Andre, talking about the trade situation with Lamar and the Ravens, now that we do understand that the trade request happened. Astro with Eric super chat on YouTube says, why waste picks in 23 on Lamar? Way better QB class in 2024. Build the O-line, get targets now, better overall position for the Titans. And I think Astro, I've said this, and Sam, you agree with the sentiment of the Titans should not go after Lamar Jackson pre-2023 draft. No. It should only be after the draft, where, if it's signing an offer sheet and giving up 2 first-round draft picks, give up 2024 and 2025 when Lamar Jackson should give you a 22nd, 26th overall draft pick, not 11th.
And real quick too, I'll go back to Andre's point. He says, why would you give up more than 2 1s if nobody's giving 2 1s? Well, you might have to. Is that you have to, no matter what, give up 2 first-round picks to get Lamar Jackson. there's no way you don't give up 2 first-round picks to get Lamar Jackson, because you sign him to an offer sheet. Baltimore says, all right, he's yours, take him. You're giving 2 first-round picks to the Baltimore Ravens. So now the Ravens have all the leverage in this situation. They've got more leverage than Lamar. They've got more leverage than any team that wants him. So if you go to Baltimore or go to Lamar and say, hey, here's your 4-year, $210 million contract that has $180 million in guarantees, deal or no deal, and he says deal, well, the Ravens can say, we're matching that, and for us not to match it, trade us separately and throw in these extra picks, and then you're stuck either calling their bluff or doing it. That's the point of giving up the initial stuff, is you can't control anything. And why would Baltimore let him go for less than 2 first-round picks when they're the ones in control of their own fate there?
Yeah. Going back to Asher Eric, he says, why waste picks in 23? Way better QB class in 24, right? Well, last year we were saying, hey, the 2023 class is way better than the 2022 class. And now here we are saying, well, that 24 class is pretty good compared to this class. I mean, the grass isn't always greener. The next class is always going to be, quote unquote, better than the current class. And, so you're just going to get caught in that cycle where, I think a year ago you were looking, Bryce Young's coming out, CJ Stroud's coming out next year. Just wait, right? Don't go after Kenny Pickett in the first round. Don't go after Malik Willis in the first round, or Desmond Ridder, or whoever else. Wait until these guys. Now you're saying wait until Caleb Williams. Who's after that? I saw somebody saying Arch Manning's going to be the sales point of the new stadium for the Titans in 2026. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's Nico Iamaleava, right? Who knows? So there's that. Nathaniel Allen with some more lunchbox money. Fans are living in the past. $50 million in 3 years will be a steal. The NFL trajectory is crazy. Players will get paid. You got to get a guy who is a guy. I think we both agree with that one. Noah comes in, says basically the Titans fans want Mahomes without the name Patrick Mahomes and don't want to give up the farm. We also don't want him. Also want him to want to be in Nashville. Kane says, Titans fans want a unicorn in a world full of fish. Most will never be happy and complain about everything, while the others have no idea what they're talking about. That's a very just funny, just flat out comment there from Kane.
Well, it is true though. I mean, and I get it from a fan's perspective of giving up a lot to go get a quarterback is scary. It is well, what if this doesn't work out? What if he's
then
not
everybody's
good and we waste
fired,
the money?
right? Yeah.
Huh?
Then everybody's fired. If it doesn't work out, then everybody's fired.
Right. It's what if we trade the picks and move up and then he's not good? What if we pay all this money and he's not good, or it doesn't work out? And that is why, as you said, Austin, executives and head coaches get and lose jobs in the National Football League based on how they execute their picks and guys that they bring in at the quarterback position. It's the most important position. But as I've said yesterday throughout the offseason, and as I will continue to say, I'd rather go down swinging than watching strike 3. And, taking a swing at Lamar Jackson could get the Titans the MVP, one of the top faces of the NFL at quarterback in Nashville. It could blow up in their face, in which case, you probably move on to a new regime and a new era anyway. And these things tend to reset themselves after a couple of years. So maybe you have a year that you stink, and that's when you take your quarterback. These are cyclical moments, and I don't think any franchise should be scared to jump in the deep end.
Yeah, for sure. A last super chat for right now. Nathaniel says Titans should sign Lamar because every time the Titans played the Ravens, you're scared of Lamar, not the Ravens. He wins games solo. Ravens were the problem, right? And I think that's a fair point, right? But, everybody's been like, well, Tannehill can't do it himself. That's been the complaint on Ryan Tannehill the last 2.5 years. He needs help. You can't rely on Tannehill to win you a game, even though he's had a lot of game-winning drives and comebacks and won a lot of games. But Lamar Jackson is the creator of the offense, not the facilitator, not the system guy. Lamar is the system and goes out there and makes the plays and, is a superstar player. So there's the super chats there, but
they operate on 2 things in Baltimore. defense and Lamar Jackson. And that is how they are regularly in the playoffs. And we know that Mike Vrabel is very capable of putting together a very good competitive defense. He tends to do it with the exception of 2020, like basically every year of one of the top defenses. They have all the pieces in place right now to be a very good defense. But can you score points? I don't know. And Lamar Jackson is a guy that, by the way, as well, Austin has done that in Baltimore without a Treylon Burks at wide receiver and without a Derrick Henry at running back. So you're giving him even more. Like, yeah, he had Mark Andrews, a very good, like, athletic tight end, one of the top tight ends in the game, but he hasn't had too many weapons other than like a couple 8-game stretches of Hollywood Brown. Like, he's been very limited in his surrounding, like, supporting cast, and he's still been able to, bring Baltimore to the playoffs
and put up numbers, right? All right. So
Yeah.
Sam, we've talked about why should the Titans go after and sign Lamar Jackson. Let's get to the biggest reason why the Titans should not sign Lamar Jackson. So now we want the opposite side of it. The biggest reason why the Titans should not. But first, let me tell you guys about what you should do. And that is go to Farm Bureau Health Plans and check them out for your health coverage. That's fbhp.com/ATOZ for Farm Bureau Health Plans. They will help you out with your coverage, whether it's health, dental, vision. They got it all right there. And it's easy to jump on board with the Farm Bureau Health Plans family. They've been serving Tennesseans for now over 75 years. And can help you with the educational process, the resources, whatever it might be, whatever stage of life you're in. If you're single, if you're a young professional, if you're an entrepreneur, great. If you just need to fill in some gaps that your employer doesn't offer you, or you can find a better rate than what your employer offers you, the Farm Bureau Health Plans, they do that too, all the way through senior citizen care. And with Medicare, they've got it covered all right there with Farm Bureau Health Plans. So go check them out. Here's the link, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
I want to tell you guys about the king of sportsbooks. That's BetMGM. And sign up with BetMGM on the BetMGM app using that bonus code. That's ATOZ Sports, A to Z Sports on BetMGM. You can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. If your first bet doesn't hit when you sign up with BetMGM, you'll gain access to a wide variety of live parlay selection features, daily boosted odds specials, player props, and so much more. So make every game and every play mean that much more with BetMGM. As I mentioned, it's opening day today. Maybe you want to go and find your Braves, back my White Sox, whoever is your team that's playing today. Go on BetMGM and support them and sign up with that code. That's ATOZ Sports on the BetMGM app, and up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win.
I did see BetMGM's handing out parlay boosts for Major League Baseball on opening day. So you can take advantage of that right there. All right. So what's the biggest reason why the Titans should not go after and sign Lamar Jackson? And we've talked about the reasons why they should. Now, the other side of it, Ryan Clark says the injury factor. Billy Jones says he's an average passer. Jeff Rubel just flat out says the price is too high. Rent is too high. Y'all remember that guy? The rent is too damn high for Jeff Rubel. Steven says Lamar Jackson is injury prone. Chaz just says too much risk. Denise just says the drama. I don't know if there's a lot of drama. A contract negotiation has been dramatic, but I don't think Lamar Jackson is a dramatic person.
I think he's getting a bad reputation of being a dramatic guy because this has been going on for a long period of time now. Like, this has been almost a year in the making. Yeah, there's been drama surrounding him for quite some time, but look at guys that had drama and then got their deal. They're fine. And
I think the drama is not necessarily Lamar's fault. It's Jimmy Haslam's fault for giving Deshaun Watson $230 million, 100% guaranteed, as he was going through a ton of civil court cases for potential alleged off the field situations that are disgusting, right? And so that's the problem. That made Lamar Jackson's situation that much more dramatic because of what the Browns, who don't have competent ownership, I think we can all agree on that. That's what they did. So Pistol Ramsey says the biggest reason his knees, play style coming in from Jonathan. Willie says there is no reason. Sam is right. Go get Lamar. That's what you think. Brent says too much money. Injuries from Phillip. Don't have the Benjamins. The wheels can easily go flat on the race car, saying Timothy. Let's see. Lot says money and the draft picks. I just think it's a little too high. More injury history. His style is going to get him hurt again, and again, coming in from Matt. DeMario says money and limitations to win it with arm only in the playoffs. Teams take away the run, and the Ravens stalled, like the Titans did that when the Ravens had MVP Lamar Jackson a couple seasons ago. Stephen King says Rand wants to be the GM longer than 1 year. That's why the Titans shouldn't do it. So, Sam, I'll pass it to you. What is the biggest reason in your mind of why the Titans should not go after Lamar Jackson?
Well, it's not the money. I think we talked about the salary cap increasing. I'm not really worried about the money. I think you can manipulate the salary cap enough to field a competitive team around Lamar Jackson if you really need to. Teams know how to do that stuff, and we've seen it done in recent years. I do think the pros far outweigh the cons, but if there's reasons why they shouldn't, it is the injury history and the draft pick capital that you would be having to give up. Because one thing that's really important is surrounding your quarterback with as many good weapons and assets as possible. And if getting Lamar Jackson includes giving up 2 first-round picks, which it will, you limit your ability to surround him with high-end young talent in the first 2 years of that contract. So you take on an additional risk by losing your draft picks early on. And then, 10 games in 2 years. So if you're going to pay him that much money and you're going to put all your eggs in the Lamar Jackson basket, the knees and the recurring lower body injuries are a concern that could get teams to shy away a little bit. So those would be the 2 reasons that I would hear as legitimate arguments against it. For sure.
Sam, I think it is the money.
Why is it the money, though?
It's not the cap. There's a difference. It's not the cap space. The cap space makes sense. I'm talking cash.
Yeah.
I'm talking straight cash, homie. I'm talking about the signing bonus is why I think the Titans would not do this. Because I'll throw up this graphic again. This is the suggested contract. You wrote about this, A2ZSports.com yesterday. This is from Joel Corey, a former NFL agent. Signing bonus, $85 million. $85 million signing bonus. And how signing bonuses work is once that contract is signed and you do put pen to paper, or however I think they have to sign in-person contracts. They don't e-sign, docu-sign those things. Amy Armstrong has to pay $85 million to Lamar Jackson's bank account within 21 days of that being signed. $85 million of cash in 3 weeks to Lamar Jackson. Now, that's just a lot of money to just go do it. Like Stan Kroenke was able to do what he did with Matt Stafford and pay him $61 million after the trade because he put, I think it was $60 million signing bonus straight into his pocket and a $1 million base salary. He was able to do that because he is Stan Kroenke. I don't think Amy can do that. And plus, you're talking about Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is going to get a massive contract with probably half of that. I don't know what Jeff's signing bonus would be, but it'll probably be about 20. So if you're talking about 20 signing from Jeff, 85 signing from Lamar, is there just $100 million of cash lying around? Now, here's the difference, right? Because you're going to save $27 million by getting rid of Tannehill after June 1st. But that doesn't mean that Tannehill wasn't getting all $27 million now.
No, it's 27 in game checks. So
yes, in game checks spread out over 17, 18 weeks at 1.5 per, right? And so it's just, do you have $100 million to pay Big Jeff and Lamar Jackson this summer? To give them that cash? I think that's the biggest thing because I don't think they do. And plus, you'd have to do a lot of maneuvering. You always, Michael Scott, when he was doing Scott's Tots, make sure you text me before you cash that check so I can move some things around, right? Lamar, let me move some things around and get into this so I can drop that $85 million wire and not have things bounce. So I think that is the problem. $85 million signing bonus is the big fat red thing that's staring me in the face of why this wouldn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Amy's gotten cash. It's a lot of money. I know that. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's something that, you have to consider. And that's a little bit more like in depth on contracts that I think just like a lot of people might not recognize at first is you're just like, oh, give him that contract and sign him up. You can make it work under the salary cap. Well, that's real money, right? And it has to be liquid money and it has to transfer bank accounts in a timely fashion. According to, the agreements between the league and the NFLPA and how these things work. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not really privy to how much cash Amy Adams-Strunk has in the bank, but I think that could be a holdup if that number needs to come down to something more reasonable. Then you start to like maybe need to work guarantees into the yearly salaries a little bit. Maybe you have to guarantee part of the 2026 salary, but then it's just kind of eating dead money in that year if you don't think he'll still be around. So I think that's a fair point. Like I said, I don't think the cap hit or the salary cap should be a reason why the Titans don't do this. But you're saying maybe this is a reason they just can't do it.
Yeah, $85 million of signing bonus. I do want to throw some quick shade because GK flies in here on YouTube and says, why the clickbait title, Austin? The title of today's show is what it would cost the Titans to get quarterback Lamar Jackson. Here you go, GK. Here is what it would cost the Titans to get Lamar Jackson. So I don't know what clickbait you're talking about, but there is the payoff that we've now shown. I think this is the fourth time we have shown this graphic on the show there, GK, of us and the title aligning. So GK, you can take that clickbait, and I don't know where you think that's clickbait, but that's exactly what we've done today is tell you what it would cost the Titans to get Lamar Jackson.
Or debate what it would cost, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about draft compensation. We're talking about, we just had a conversation about $85 million in liquid cash that has to go into his bank account. So, yeah, I don't know that. Kane's coming in with a super chat. He says, why not get AR? He has he has all of the upside of Lamar. Plus, you can still build a competitive roster without being against the cap. I mean, I'm in. Kane, you heard me yesterday. I'm an Anthony Richardson advocate. I'll say it again, that I believe in Anthony Richardson and what he can do as a playmaker. I mean, I guess the reason why not would be Lamar Jackson has proven to do it at an MVP level in the NFL, where Anthony Richardson just has the athletic prototype that Lamar Jackson has kind of made his career on. So how much do you believe in that athletic prototype and his ability as a passer compared to what Lamar's been able to do? But I'm in on Anthony Richardson, so you won't hear any backlash from me on that point.
Mr. Jones says Sam failing. And then Timothy says, please stop, Sam, on the Anthony Richardson conversation. So
we'll see. Maybe I'll be eating my words, but I like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. All right, Dan asks, where's Zach? Zach is traveling for business. He'll be back next week. But here's what I'll say. I'll say this and I'll let you react to it, and then we'll move on to the magic bucket. I think the Titans should be interested in Lamar Jackson after the draft. That being said, I think it's way more likely that the Titans move up in the draft, say to the 3rd overall pick over the Colts, than they are to acquire Lamar Jackson. I think the trade up aspect and not having to pay an $85 million signing bonus to a quarterback like that is more the Titans type gamble to go up in the draft. It makes more sense to do that from the Titans side of things, because it's like so much cheaper to move up in the draft than it is to pay that big signing bonus. So I'll just drop that. If you want to react to it, I think it's way more likely they move up over the Colts at 3 than sign Lamar to a crazy contract like that.
I half agree and half disagree. I think that's more likely they go to the draft than Lamar, but I don't see a move up coming. Like I'm starting to get a feeling that Anthony Richardson and Will Levis might drop a bit. Like if Indianapolis isn't going to take them, which they might not if they're not sold on either one of them or want to go for Lamar, you might start seeing picks 5, 6, 7 come around, and the Titans have an opportunity to maybe move up to 8. Going up to 3 I'm not sure I foresee happening.
Yeah, but it just guarantees you that you get that quarterback.
Which I could see, like, maybe if they have one of those two guys that they're absolutely in love with, but I tend to get the feeling, Austin, that if the Titans move on a quarterback in the draft, it will be because an opportunity that they love presents itself to them, not that they create their own opportunities.
Right. So I guess I'll rephrase it, right? If the Titans are going to aggressively gamble at the quarterback position, I think the Titans are more likely to gamble by trading up to 3 than they are to gamble with a Lamar Jackson massive $85 million signing bonus after the draft. That's how I'll put it.
Okay, that much I think is fair. If they're going to gamble.
If they're going to gamble,
I don't think they're going to gamble. I think that they could pull trigger in the draft, right? And if it gets to 8, 9, 10, or even somebody's there at 11, that they then move on a QB if it's presented to them. That's what I think they will do. But I would agree with you that if a gamble is in store, it is probably the younger guy that they have a high grade on than the more expensive guy right now.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I just think this stuff's fun. I think these type of conversations is really entertaining and a lot of fun to kind of work through and to play out some situations and scenarios. All right, Sam, it is time for the Magic Bucket. I'll give an update about the Magic Bucket here in a second. But before the Magic Bucket, tell us all about our friends at Wilson County Hyundai.
Wilson County Hyundai, you need to go and make them a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Wilson County Hyundai is the place to go to get your new ride. You can get 0% APR for 48 months on 2023 Sonatas, Santa Fe's, or Tucson's. Payne Bone and his team at Wilson County Hyundai are happy to guide you through the financing process, assisting with buying or trading in your vehicle. So forget all of those downtown Nashville prices. You go out to Lebanon and see our friends at wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Also, don't forget, you have to jump on board with our other friends at BetMGM. It's coming up this weekend. The tournament's back in action. It feels like it's been a long time since I've watched college basketball with high implications, but Saturday is the day. Make sure you jump on board with our bonus code at BetMGM. Sign up using our code ATOZ Sports. That's ATOZ Sports, and that gives you an option on your first bet. You get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you miss out on that first bet. It's a great chance to go big and not go home if you lose. You get it back in bonus bets and you keep on playing with BetMGM, or you hit that first bet and you feel good about yourself. So you're going to feel good either way because BetMGM is a great thing, a great fun for us, great entertainment. And we're looking forward to Saturday as well. So check them out right there. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification, eligible requirements. Words issues at non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. And for problem game of sport, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Sam, it's that time of the week. All right, Magic Bucket time here on the show. Sam's got the bucket again, as Zach and I have been kind of flip-flopping off days on the show. So tomorrow I'm going to do the one chip. I need to prepare my body. I need to have 24 hours to prepare my body and make sure that I do this the smart way. But I'm going to do it tomorrow.
You've had like 3 weeks to prepare your body, to be fair.
Well, but again, I also was off just 2. But I was off because I was off last Thursday. So
happy birthday to Devin. Says it was his birthday. So happy birthday to Devin.
Nice.
Just got to get that out there. Austin, is this for you or for me?
This will be for me. I'll think it's for me.
I've been getting hosed by the Magic Bucket the last 2 times.
That's what it does to you.
This for you?
Yeah, it's for me.
At next live show, you must wear a top hat and monocle.
I have done that. Don't put it back in there for you to pull again, though, accidentally.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Tell us about a recent dream you had.
Oh, I did this already because I talked about Alan. I dreamed me and Alan Bell were like running around Nashville watching games or something. So I did do that one.
During next live show, you must drink a full beer or seltzer before the first full ad read. If not finished or accomplished, you must shotgun another beer to end the show.
I did do that because Zach immediately went to a live read off the top of the show to try to screw me over. So
that's a good chess move on his
three
part.
in a row that I've already done. So
literally just pulled the same one twice.
I told you not to put them back in there before you pull mine.
Oh.
So you just pull it out.
I thought you said do put it back.
No,
in
don't.
Okay.
Don't. Until
30 seconds on the clock. How much of the alphabet can you say backwards?
I haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done the backwards alphabet.
All right, backwards alphabet. I got 30 seconds. All right. Timer.
Let me know when your timer's ready and you can start when I say Z.
All right. We're ready.
Okay. ZYWXVUTSRPQONMLKJAIHFEDCBA.
Done. 20 seconds.
I'm so much better at saying the alphabet backwards and forwards.
We'll have to review the footage, but
did I miss anything?
I think you switched. The only thing I noticed, I think you switched P. You said P, then Q.
Oh, I missed G too. Dang it.
And you said, messed up on, you said P, then Q, but P is before Q.
I did good though, right?
Yeah, no. Overall, I'm very proud of that.
I kept going because I didn't get corrected. Like I was expecting somebody like, no, that's not how it goes. But okay.
Well, I struggle with that, so I wouldn't have even been able to correct you. That would have been.
So I missed G. I think I had 3 mistakes.
Okay. That's still 3 mistakes.
In how long?
20 seconds. I mean,
okay.
We'll take that.
Okay, I'll take that as a big win. 3 mistakes in 20 seconds. I'll make it.
All right.
All right, what you got here?
Oh, with that, I just pulled that one for you.
Don't put it back in there.
You're right. Well, I did it again. So
rookie.
Name as many team mascots as you can in 30 seconds. What team?
Does it have a sport?
No, it just says team mascots.
All right. Do you want me to give you a sport to go with?
Well, we got to clarify. Am I doing is mascot like the nickname of the team?
Yeah. Yeah. Not like Smokey is the mascot for the Vols.
Oh, well, then we have to do college, right?
You want to do college?
We have to do college because otherwise the mascots are just the team names, which.
No, I'm saying the team names. That's what I'm talking about. So it's like Titans, not T-Rack. Titans is the correct answer.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right. T-Rack. Yeah, we'll do whatever. Then I'll do that, and I'll just do pro, and I'll just see how many I can get through. See if I can get through all of them.
So you get. I'll have a timer for 30 seconds.
All right.
And so you're gonna name read again. Is it mascots?
Name as many team mascots as you can in 30 seconds.
Oh, so it is the team. So it is the mascots. Okay. Hey, since it's opening day, Denise says, what about baseball? Since it's opening day, do you want to do Major League Baseball mascots?
Sure. This is it. So
mascots.
Team names.
Like T-Rack. The Tennessee Titans mascot is T-Rack.
Oh, like that? Okay, that's fine. I don't know how many I can get, but all right, let's go.
All right. I'm starting the clock for 30 seconds on your first go.
All right. We have Southpaw of the Chicago White Sox. We have Philly Fanatic. We have Cubby Bear. We have Orbit the Astro. We have, let's see. Oh, man. The baseball's hard. What's the Moose? What's the Mariners Moose's name? I forget his name. Dinger is the Colorado Rockies dinosaur. Let's see. Mr. Brewer, Mr. Matt. There's a good one.
Done. So you got 7.
All right. I should have
I
gotten
mean-
Mr. Redleg. I got Philly Fanatic.
Philly Fanatic was the second one you did. You did
Yeah.
your White Sox, then you did Philly Fanatic, then you went back to the Cubs.
I should have
So
gotten
you knocked out
Blooper as well. Blooper's a tough miss.
What's the Braves mascot now? Because I know they've had the change recently. Moose Tracks.
I mean, is it just
is
like
that right?
the freeze?
I don't know. Beats me.
Is it Moose Tracks? Is that the guy I was trying to think of?
Yeah, I don't know. But that's tough.
The Mariners have a moose, and he's very cute. I like the moose that the Seattle Mariners have. I don't know his name though.
Who's Blooper? You didn't say Blooper, right?
No, I didn't say Blooper is. I think it's Cleo. Oh, that's the Braves.
Blooper is the Braves?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, that makes sense. I will probably not watch baseball today.
The Friar. I should have gotten the Friar. I should have gotten a lot of them. I felt like I was going to do better than that. That's
It's
disappointing.
okay. It's opening day. You haven't been paying attention to the mascots yet. Like if we ask you this question in like July, where you've been watching a lot of baseball, you'd do better.
I feel like mascots have kind of like stepped away too. Like
That's
I
because
don't
you're
know
not
if
a kid.
I just don't feel like I see them anymore. Like I feel like you used to go to the stadium and the mascot would be like on the dugout or like on the field and stuff. Like I don't feel like mascots are
They
around
still do
much
that,
anymore.
Sam. It's just you're not paying attention to it because you're no longer in that demographic. You're
Maybe-
not a
maybe
kid.
true.
You don't have a kid that you're going to the game
Yeah.
with. And so the mascot is not what you're there for.
Yeah. True. All right. Well,
All right.
hey,
Well,
happy opening day.
there you go. Happy opening day. That was a tough one there, but I think 7 in 30 seconds is pretty solid. I'll give you a victory.
I'm
on that. All right.
disappointed, so I'll just be disappointed.
I'm sure you are. Like the show before you go. Great show today talking about Lamar Jackson and what it would cost the Titans with that potential situation. So give the show a like on Facebook, on YouTube before you head out. I know there's more people watching right now that have done it. I can see it right now. So give us that thumbs up before you guys head out. We'll be back tomorrow morning on a Friday. Buck Rising live tonight, A to Z Sports Primetime to wrap up his week. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Talk to you soon. Appreciate it as always.